from the author that brought you Sentenced to Be a Hero. Turns out they had another title that was also airing at the same time. However, unlike it being a two-parter, they decided to put this one into one whole thing, and that is Scum of the Brave. Now, a lot of people will remember Sentenced to Be a Hero more because it's animation, it's music, the characters in their dark fantasy setting. It's always good to have those kind of things. People always enjoy those. And I do enjoy it a lot too as well. But for this one, Scum of the Brave, it felt personal for me. It asked me some questions and it left me thinking, even towards the very end, on the world and the characters of this world that the author was trying to tell us through their POV. And it's a very dystopian like modern world where certain individuals called overlords or demon lords get advanced surgeries to give themselves crazy superpowers and create organizations around their area and take them over. While on the other hand, you have other individuals who take these enhanced genetics called E3s. Yes, they're called E3s. And pretty much they also get enhanced superpowers for a short period of time. And they're called Braves. In this world, Braves are known as the heroes of this world who takes down these evil organizations. However, there's a very interesting, old but very niche twist that some authors like to do. Some authors, such as Yoko Taro, in a way. And the thing they always say is, never meet your heroes. In our eyes, we always see the heroes as people who can do no wrong, who can always bring about justice, and they do it the right way. Where in reality, sometimes our heroes are just random people who are selected or chose to be on the battlefield, and they complete the mission by any means necessary. They may do it for money, they may do it for fame and fortune, they may do it for women, they even just do it for a sick, twisted reason, but they come and they do the job. They're not doing it because they have this heartfelt fantasy of doing the right thing. And Yoko Taro did this a lot with his work. Maybe it was older work, stuff such as Dragon Guard mainly, where you have Klein and the heroes I say, where they go out and they're trying to save the world. Or you have Zero from Dragon Guard 3, who is also out there trying to save the world. But in reality, their personalities are kind of warped and twisted. They do terrible things, but yet again, they get the job done. So that's where the Braves, I believe the author was trying to show us here, is that the Braves are a bit of scumbags. They do terrible things. And the Brave we focus on in the story is Yashiro, the Reaper. A Brave who has a very simplistic ideology of how he wants his world to be. He wants the simple life. He wants to be a Brave. He wants to go down, slice some demon lords up, slice some organizations. Then he goes to his old bar where he has pizza, beer, and he plays card games with his acquaintances. That is his life. That is his dream. That is all he wants. Nothing more, nothing less. Until one day he bumps into three individuals, three Braves in training from an academy who have a different worldview on how Braves should be. You know, the superhero, the doing the knight's justice and honor system. And the three girls' names is Aki, Jokine, Yukine, and Sarah. These three individual girls, they suck at their job. They have very good, interesting abilities, and they have potential, but they really suck at their job. So they request help from a professional, which is Yashiro. They wish for him to train them so they become better at their job so they won't die. Because the entire point of this plot started off as one of them being kidnapped in the first place, being held hostage. So, at first, Yashiro being Yashiro does not want to accept the job whatsoever. But turns out one of the girl's fathers is a very high-ranking Brave named King Arthur. Yes, King Arthur. And wishes to hire him to go and train the Braves. So he accepts the job for the pay and he trains them. But the more he trains them, the more he realizes that these girls, the way they fight, is kind of being trained on purpose. Their positioning, their invasive maneuvers, all of that is being taught a certain way on purpose. And the more you realize it, the more kind of messed up you find out the purpose of that reasoning is. So, anyways, one of the Braves that he usually talks to but gets on his nerves the most is the secondary female character. Well, the main female character, and that's Aki Jogame. She is a very hyper, optimistic type of girl where no matter what you do, what you say to her, you will not break her ideology. You will not break her spirit. Throughout to the very end of the show, she has this very black and white view on the world. How she sees her teacher as this amazing stand-up guy. And even no matter how many times he tries to tell her that he's a scumbag, he does things a dirty, tactful way. He kills for money. He plays dirty. He does what he can to get that paycheck. But to her, he is a great man, and she does not, never will fall down or break down whatsoever. This girl has a very scary, optimistic viewpoint on the world, and it could get her killed. So he has to train her to do it. Then you have Yukine, a very quiet, short girl who has two blades backhand, and she's very observant, and she has the best ability of being a brave. But however, she charges in way too steadfast to battle, too quickly without thinking, despite having a very good power as well. Yeah, most individuals have a unique power that makes them special. For instance, Akane Jogame, she can read minds. Yukine can teleport in short distances. And as for Sarah, she can tell where others are through their aura. So these girls have, like I said, have very high potential of being great braves, but they were just trained wrong. So they needed someone with a bit more spice to get them on their feet. And throughout the show, it doesn't go in the direction you expect it to go. You expect it to go the good guy always wins, the triumph of justice. No, one of the main character's friends dies, and he goes out on a full-on scale war against another organization for revenge. To the point, he does some very dirty stuff to do it. But nonetheless, the girls still see him as this upstanding guy. And he tries to convince them to get out of the life of a brave, that they're just scumbag, they're terrible. And he tries to does that to the very end, but they end up changing him instead. Yes, they do become better at their job. They become way better. It's not quickly neither. They learn, they still get scrapped, they get impaled, they get injured, but they improve as the show goes on. Now, but the main thing that happens here is the change with Yashiro. Yashiro changes. In a way, he has a different perspective on Brave, and he realizes, yes, you may be a scumbag, but it doesn't mean you have to be the worst scumbag. Maybe you should have to be just the one that takes to take down the bigger scumbag, and that's it. And throughout the show, it has that ideology. And all the way to the point, to the very end of the last episode, things go full circle on the show. And I really do enjoy that, where he meets a certain individual and they have a very interesting conversation towards the end. You have two braves. You have Yashiro and the person he's talking to at the very end. Two who are known very famously in different directions. Yashiro is known being a brave for being an underground scumbag, while this other brave is known for being the brave hero of society and stuff like that. They both know that they're both scum. They both know that they're not good people. They have to dirty their hands to make the world a better place. However, one has this facade where he has to put on to the public that he's this upstanding, noble guy, while Yashiro can just do what he wants. But however, the conversation, to me, was my favorite part of the entire show. No action or nothing, just dialogue. And the dialogue is about, yes, it may be true, but doesn't mean you should say it. You know? Like, this upstanding guy, he knows scum or the brave are scum, and they're terrible people, and no one should be looking up to them. But he himself, Yashiro, kind of breaks down on him, telling him, yeah, it's true, but I don't want to hear it from you. Now, you of all people, you are the one that everyone looks up to. Therefore, even though it is true, you have to put on that facade for the public and also for those girls. Let them know that, yes, that you can still be a hero. Don't let their light die out. That's pretty much what he did. And I enjoy that conversation very much. You see, if you look at me, you might think I'm a hardcore shonen battle guy, and I am at most times, but I really enjoy a good dialogue segment. It's the reason why I enjoy watching things like ReZero or Steins Gate and stuff, They're very dialogue heavy, and yes, they have their action and suspense scenes as well, but I really enjoy a good talk. I really do. Opening up the mind, having two people talking for philosophy, talking about their ideals and having them clash over and over again. And not one has to be right or wrong, but at least try to understand what the other individual is trying to say. I've always enjoyed that very much when it comes to these kind of things. And it was good. I loved it to the very end. This was one of my most favorite anime actually to watch for spring of 2026. It really was, because the animation was very mid. The music was okay. I mostly enjoyed the outros than I enjoyed the intros. And the art style was pretty cute and stuff. So it made it very interesting when things got dark with this kind of cute art style that they did. Very interesting. In fact, they still kept things cartoony despite it being still dark. I enjoy that very much. Now, that being said, yeah, this was definitely one of my most favorite anime. I look forward to watching it every time it came out on Saturday. It was like, oh boy, it's coming on. I can't wait to see what happens next and see where these characters go and how they change at the end of the story. And it tells you that sometimes you can be a bad person or just do bad things, but it doesn't mean you yourself are a bad person. Good people do bad things. Bad people do good things. And I really enjoyed that. And that's why I can't wait to see when Sentence to Be a Hero come out again. So I can watch that. There's a manga of it, but no one uploaded any chapters, and I can't find where to read the light novels, so I don't know if this is the end or not. So I gotta go look it up. But I still give this a must-watch. It's really good. I enjoyed it. And it's 24 episodes, so if you watch 2 a day or even 3 a day, you'll have a good sit down and watch them, or just binge it. Do whatever you want. But anyways, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. So with that being said, I'll end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has the Madcrownxox, signing out.